Hi, this is Mikhail with CabuyaFishing.com, and I am going to show you one of my favorite fishing rigs, the dropper rig. The dropper rig is probably one of the first rigs I learned how to tie when I was a little kid. My uncle showed me how to do it while we were fishing out on the ocean, and I didn't know what it was called, but it sure worked, and I'm going to show that one to you as well. It looks something like this. You have your line, and at the end of your line, you have your sinker or your weight. And then about a foot and a half up, you have a loop of line. Remember the dropper loop that we have in another video. And then you have your hook. This is a really good fishing rig because it is easy to cast out of the Cabuya. With that weight being at the very end of the line, it makes it super simple to get it out there really, really far. It keeps your hook up off the bottom so it doesn't get in as many snags or tangles. And the weight acts as a counterbalance. So whenever you wiggle that line, it gives a real natural movement to the bait or lure that you have attached to it. I almost forgot. I got to put some bait on the hook. So here we have a little worm. He's hanging on the hook like this. Happy little worm. Happy little worm on a happy hook. There he is, smiling at the fish. The fish is smiling down at him. See, just happy little fish and happy little worm in their happy little underwater environment. We have happy little seaweed. Happy little seaweed here. Doesn't that just make you feel great? You know, you can just let all that frustration go. Oh, you know, that makes me feel happy too. So let's tie a dropper rig. It has other names like a drop shot rig or a high-low rig, but basically all the same. You've got your weight at the end of the line, and then a distance up from there you have your hook. First thing I'm going to tie, I got my bit of line, is I'm going to put a loop on the end of my line. The way I'm going to do that is called a double surgeon's knot. It's real easy to tie, which is why I don't have a video on it. But you just fold the line over and you tie. Oops, there we go. You fold the line over, you tie an overhand knot, and then you go back through again. So you do it twice. That is a double surgeon's loop. And then pull that tight. Wet your line. Always lubricate your line before you bear down on it. You can use saliva, or water, whatever you have at hand. Trim off that tag end. There we go. Now that I have that loop, I pinch it down. I can pass it through the eye of my weight and then down around the bottom. This is great because you can switch out weights very quickly, especially if you've got a higher current or you want to be able to cast it farther or whatever. You can switch out your weight, and that is plenty secure. Now, I like to go up about a foot and a half. And at this point, I'm going to tie a dropper loop. I have a video on how to tie a dropper loop, so go check that one out if you're having trouble seeing the fishing line. But the way you do it is you fold the line back on itself to create a loop, and then take these two pieces up here and twist them away from yourself 3 to 4 times. I always lose count because I'm watching the camera, but I think that's 3 times. Then take the bottom of your loop, pass it up through that little shark's mouth that you created, pull it up, and then begin to pull it tight. Again, lubricate your line. This prevents any unnecessary friction and heat which could cook your line and cause her not to fail before you bear down on it. Now I have my dropper loop. I will pinch the end of it closed and fit the hook through. Put it through the eye of the hook. Now I'm going to go around the hook once and twice, if I can, just because this line is a little bit thick and it has some memory. Nope, can't do it. I didn't make a large enough loop. I got it around once, that's good. So then we pull it up and then pull it tight on the hook like so. I'm going to pull on it, kind of get it to stay there. There we are. So that is basically the dropper loop rig, the dropper rig. I have the weight at the end of it. I have the hook sticking out about a foot and a half up. And then what I also like to do is I like to tie another loop on the other end of the dropper rig. You can tie these right to the end of your line, no problem. But I like to cut the length of line first and then make it a leader that I can attach to my main line with a swivel or with, with another loop, so that I can change it out quickly if I need to. So again, that surgeon's knot, that double surgeon's knot, just overhand knot twice and then pull, loop it, and there we are. And now I'll cut off the excess. And get the hook untangled from my decorations. There we are. So we have the weight at the end of the line. We have the hook. And then because I want this to be a leader or basically a detachable rig, I have another loop right there. This is a very simple version of this rig, and that's really all it takes. It doesn't take anything much more complicated, but there are variations. There's all sorts of cool variations where you can have 2 hooks or 3 hooks, and you can hook swivels to it, or there's ways to twist up your dropper loop so that it sticks out perfectly straight and it's stiffer, but you can look that up. This is going to get you started, and this is, again, one of my favorite fishing rigs, the dropper rig. Thanks for watching this video. I hope it was helpful to you. Be sure to watch the other videos we have on tips and tricks to get you out on the water with your Cabuya catching those big fish. Okay. This is how you tie the double surgeon's loop. You fold the line back on itself like so. Then take that bit and go around and through to create an overhand knot, and then pass it through once again. That's why it's called a double surgeon's loop. And pull it tight. There you are. Super easy. It's a pretty strong knot. It's a very good way to put a loop on the end of your line. But wait, there's more. You can also use that double surgeon's loop to tie a loop in the middle of your line, just like the dropper loop. Haha, see? Though it's not quite as nice or quite as strong as a dropper loop when it's used this way. But like I said, when I was a kid and I learned this this rig, that's the knot I tied to create a loop coming out of the side of my line. So you have options.